Waters, an outstanding young entrepreneur who has overcome tremendous adversity to be here today. Hey, I just wanted to start off by asking you a little bit, if you can tell us a little bit about your life growing up there, and where did you grow up there?
Chicago, Illinois, south side of Chicago, around 61st and King Drive, 20th Ward. Man, you know, it's honestly filled up with a lot of abuse, you know what I mean, a lot of violence, you know what I mean, and extreme, you know, poverty. You know, there's people out there that's poor, and then there's people that's kind of poor, and there's people that's really, really poor, and I was one of those three. I was really, really poor.
And so you were raised by, did you have a mother and father there at the home?
I was raised by my mother. You know, my father died when I was 3 years old, suffered from cancer.
Oh.
Yeah, he's quite older than my mom. I say minimum 40 years older than my mother.
Really?
Yeah, and
wow.
So by the time I was born, he was on his way out. You know, and
did they meet on Match.com?
No, they didn't. Growing up in that environment, you know what I mean, extreme poverty, a lot of violence, you know what I mean, a lot of substance abuse and things like that. It's normal. I mean, once you grow up in it, it's just normal. You know what I mean? It looks normal. It's nothing. You don't see anything weird about it. You know, to really, you know, be honest with you, you know, growing up in Chicago, I didn't know, you know, that carrying knives to school or carrying guns or razor blades and stuff like that wasn't right. You know, because you had to protect yourself. You see what I'm saying?
So you carried razor blades to school?
I just pack razor blades. You know what I mean?
Is this a common occurrence?
Well, I mean, you have to. I mean, you have to all the time, because you either get robbed, you know what I mean, or somebody trying to put you in the game, you know what I mean, or, you know what I mean, somebody shooting, you know what I mean. It's just constantly, you know, things going on all the time. And, you know, I say around 5, 6 years old, you know, she was out looking for a job and everything like that. And she found one at F.W. Woolworth, downtown Chicago.
Yeah.
And so around that same time, you know, I would say that my mom kind of, you know, inspired me, but mainly, you know, just, you know, having that go-getter attitude. I was hanging around a guy, you know, like 4 or 5 years older than me, and he was collecting cans, and he's making money, and I was like, hey, I want to make money, you know what I mean? And so that's what attracted me to my first job. You know,
so your first job was collecting aluminum cans?
Yeah, collecting cans.
What other jobs did you do when you were growing up? What other kind of entrepreneurial things did you do?
Okay, you want a list?
Sure, let's go for it.
All right, collecting cans, delivering newspapers, mopping floors for gyro sandwiches on 63rd and Cottage Grove, cleaning cars, you know, cleaning houses. What else? I said delivering newspapers, didn't I?
Yeah.
Okay, selling greeting cards and stuff like that.
And you were how old at this time?
Okay, between the ages of 7 and 13, that's what I was involved in, you know what I mean? I look forward to it every day, you know what I mean? It was just like, it helped me out a lot, and I think what really made it easier for me to get involved in is because at home, you know, situations, you know, I love my mom for what she tried to do. They raised me and my sister, but things just, you know, things wasn't right a lot of the times at school.
When you say things weren't right, I mean, what are you talking about?
Well, you know, man, being abused, you know what I mean, you know, being in a household where the parent, you know, is only going off of what they know. Grow up being abused and things like that, and being neglected, and, you know, being treated, you know, bad throughout your life. It's hard to show something different. You know what I mean? Yeah, I received beatings, but, you know, a guy a few apartments down from me received beatings also. You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't like, oh man, this is wrong.
14 years old.
14 years old.
And your mom just decided to move to Tulsa? Or what kind of prompted that? Was it Oral Roberts? Was it Oral Roberts who prompted your own?
Well, you know, that's interesting, man, because my aunt, you know what I mean, you know, she's not from Tulsa either, but she moved here a long time ago. It wasn't close.
So your aunt invited your mother?
Right, invited us three to move here to Tulsa.
To move to Tulsa. And so you come to Tulsa, and when you're moving to Tulsa, were you excited about the move, or is he a 14-year-old, or not so much? Or?
It was mixed feelings. You know, I was excited that, you know, I'm going to a new location.
You know, I was talking to you earlier, and I think you said that you hadn't really seen that much grass before.
Right,
you saw
right,
this
right.
In Chicago. You didn't really have the whole lawn thing.
Well, you know, growing up in the concrete jungle, you know what I mean, number of buildings, you know what I mean. The only thing you're going to see coming from, you know, any type of grass is coming through the concrete. You know, so like, you know, like I said before, I was kind of had mixed feelings about moving to Tulsa and everything. And so, I'm driving, we going past Rolla, Missouri.
Largest McDonald's on the way to Oklahoma. Did you drive past that? That's incredible. Did you see it?
I don't know. I don't honestly. I don't know.
For anybody watching this who's not familiar with Tulsa, sometimes I don't know if you drove through this on I-44. There's the world's largest McDonald's. It's incredible, and there's really nothing incredible about it, but it is the world's largest. I guess they built it on top of a bridge or something. But anyway, back to the story. As a kid, I always got excited about going there, but then once we got there, I didn't have anything to do. You know what I mean? I was excited about going there, went there, and then I had to leave. So anyway, so you're moving to Tulsa. You get to Tulsa. You're living with your aunt. In the apartment with the aunt?
No, my aunt has a home.
Has a home.
I mean, it's definitely not easy, you know what I mean, and it's not easy for young black males, who don't have a father, and their mom, is doing the best they can to raise, with the young men, and it's like, they got to work 16 hours a day, so they, the majority of the time they spend is either at school or on the streets. And there's situations out there that, that opens its door.
So you've got you're living there in Tulsa,
right.
And what high school? Were you going to high school or middle school?
I went to several different schools. So then,
were you in an apartment there, or where did you guys stay?
Well, okay, after we moved from my aunt's home, we moved to an apartment, and we stayed there for about, let's say, 6 or 7 months or something, and then we moved to a duplex. And everything. And your grades, you got pretty good grades at this point. But I was primarily a B student. You know what I mean? I love reading and things of that sort. So, comprehension is kind of one of my core interests.
Now, at what point did you start to kind of get into some trouble?
A quick snapshot of my life, from like 7. I guess since I can remember, to like 15, I was pretty much a leader. I did things on my own and. Created things by myself and accomplished things on my own. However, in high school, I just got tired of being by myself all the time. I wanted to be accepted, by my peers. And all my life, I grew up around a lot of, interesting situations, abuse, violence, gangs, things of that sort. So it wasn't hard for me to go fall into that. You see what I'm saying?
Now, tell me, if you can, about maybe the day or two kind of leading up to your accident, or what happened there. Can you explain your life at that time?
Okay, because after I dropped out of school when I was 16, close to 17, due to just not really, making a lot of mistakes. I was working a lot of construction labor jobs, such as, drywall, concrete, laying new road construction, roofing, a lot of things like that. And, that was my focus, was to, be a foreman one day, or to be able to, do something real big in that arena. I really wasn't interested in going to college or anything like that, or even getting my GED. Okay, so you're not going to school at all. Most of your people your age are going, maybe not your peers, but most people your age are going to school, and you're waking up early and going to work in construction? Right. And, can you tell me about the day of the accident? What exactly happened? Okay, it was a very crazy situation. I woke up that Thursday and went to work. I had me a job at in a condo apartment complex, groundskeeper and everything. And that day I was just like depressed, man. I just like kind of got tired with the routine that I was going through. I was just tired, because throughout my life I've always wanted to do big things. I've always been a big dreamer, a big thinker, and that day, man, it just didn't seem right, it was just like, man, it was just kind of a depressing day. And so I come home, and pretty much my routine was to come home, get cleaned up, go back out, stay with my mom at the time, and go back out and hang out with my friends.